Comedy has evolved quite a bit over the years. Tastes change, permissible language changes, relevant humorous topics change. Still, though, two things, for me anyway, that keep the funny going are timing and patience. Episode 77 of One Man's Opinion, where I review professional theater in New York and Connecticut. I have finally reached the finish line on the Broadway season. I have seen every new show, and if you're asking where my Girl from the North Country review is, it's in print over at the newspaper that I write for. I'll explain that at another date. Don't worry, you're not missing anything. Today I am reviewing Mr. Saturday Night, a new musical starring Billy Crystal, Randy Graff, David Paymer, Shoshana Bean, and Chasten Harmon, with a book by Billy Crystal, Lowell, Ganz, and Babaloo Mandel, and music by Jason Robert Brown, and lyrics by Amanda Green. The music is based off the film of the same name that came out in 1992 and is directed by John Rando. Set in 1994, Crystal plays Buddy Young Jr., a washed-up, aging comedian who, after he is mistaken as dead during the Emmy Awards' In Memoriam, gets a second chance at stardom. As he recounts his rise and fall to and from stardom with his new agent, Annie Wells, played by Harmon, he struggles to keep his jaded ego in check while trying to find a new job as a comedian or actor and mend his relationships with his estranged brother, Stan Yankelman, played by Paymer, and his daughter Susan, played by Bean. Meanwhile, his wife, Elaine, played by Graff, does her best to keep Buddy in enough of good spirits to go forward. Mr. Saturday Night is a love letter to comedy of days past, particularly the wry, sardonic humor reminiscent of artists like Groucho Marx, Milton Berle, and Jack Benny. There are numerous references to these and other classic comedians throughout, which I enjoyed, but younger audiences may be scratching their heads at trying to understand why the cast has suddenly bent over and started flicking their fingers around the corner of their mouths, or why Buddy crosses one arm over his chest and then places his other hand up to hold his face. Simple nods like this to Groucho Marx and Jack Benny will likely be lost on many of younger audience members. Older ones, particularly of the baby boomer generation, will eat it up, though. It's been a long time since Crystal has been in the public eye as a top-tier comedian. He still does act and voice characters in animation, but his stand-up hasn't been spotlighted in a long time. Mr. Saturday Night is like a soft reboot on it. The jokes will feel dated, but even so, Crystal's timing and patience is still sharp as a whip, and I couldn't help but laugh throughout. That's what's magical about Crystal as a performer. The man is 74, and he first created the character of Buddy Young in 1984, and he still makes the character feel alive. Maybe a bit of it is his geriatric humor and actually being in his 70s now instead of being in his 40s doing these jokes feels more authentic. Neither Crystal nor Paymer is that great of a singer. Actually, Paymer barely holds his tune in his song Broken. Jason Robert Brown does a great job of not overcomplicating the music for both men. As for the ladies, he lets his composition shine a bit more, allowing Bean, Harmon, and Graff flex their vocal skills a bit with their respective solos. Bean and Harmon in particular bring a much-needed youthfulness to the production. I particularly love Harmon's wide-eyed wonderment of discovering not only Buddy, but of the comedians of days long past. I almost wish she had a song dedicated to her discovery of them. Mr. Saturday Night feels like it has one foot in the now, while the other is firmly planted in the past. Though the story and the humor sometimes feel dated, and the older actors have lost a step or two when it comes to movement, their timing and patience to deliver Billy Crystal's long-lauded humor is still as sharp as Gordon Ramsay's knife. Baby boomers will appreciate the style of comedy, while the millennials and iGeners may appreciate the story of disconnect between the older and younger generations. I'm a Gen Xer, so I felt a solid connection to both ends of it. I really enjoyed Jeff Sugg's video and projection design, using old clips of Billy Crystal as Buddy from the film and incorporating them into the show. It's very well done and adds an extra bit of irony, or maybe more appropriately melancholy, as the character Buddy reflects on his early years in comedy and television. We reflect on the early years of Billy Crystal and as the star who, though maybe faded a bit, still glimmers on. But I am only one man's opinion, so be sure to leave yours in the comments below. I'll leave a link in the description on how to get tickets for Mr. Saturday Night. You can support my channel by liking, sharing, and subscribing. Hit the notification bell to be alerted to future reviews. The Broadway season is over, so I'll be in Connecticut more, wrapping up the season up here for the rest of the month. I'll be starting off with TheatreWorks Hartford's production of Zoe's Perfect Wedding. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you at the theater.